couple of big story arcs for Marvel and in Ghost Machine. And I'm super excited about all of those. I hope everybody is ramped up, ready for school. Got all your stuff packed for tomorrow. If you're starting on Wednesday, tack this semester with all you got. All right, everybody, we're going to come right back here and get started with our reviews. See you in a second. And we're back. Hi, everybody. And I also wanted to say a hearty thank you to sponsor for a great many shows right now. Also a heads up, don't forget Battle Quest Summer Wars is coming up quickly on its FOC. So if you like plaid hat games and or cool fantasy, might think about that. Also, I think they've appeared or will appear on the FOC show very soon. So you can have more information from the actual creators. So you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff about what they're working on. As you know, we love people that are doing cool things in the indie space. So it takes a whole village to support those things. So, and I know you guys are just those people. So we're happy. I see that Barlord is on. Kenneth came on earlier. Jay is our guy making sure everything actually happens, producing the show. And I think that's everybody right now. All right, let's get to the reviewing. Oh, I better turn down my phone. It's starting to make noises. All right, first thing I want to talk about is a book that may not be at a local comic shop near you. But, you know, you got to back your brother's play. And I had an amazing employee for a year or so named Riley Maldak. And when he first started with us, he basically said that he was very interested in developing a comic book idea that he had. But he's a great writer, but did not know any artists, didn't know where to go, didn't know how to start. So I gave him all advice I had. And he took that and then did his own research and all that stuff and got himself all hooked up with this cool company, which I think is Dreamscape. They have a bunch of different kinds of books to the very back of this issue, and it'll tell you all of the different things they also offer. But this is Riley's first comic book, and I guess he's already had like a signing at maybe a local show and done very well with it. So this is what I will describe very openly as being a tragedy driven origin story. So imagine just a good guy ending up in a circumstance that he ends up with abilities in a world where it is not unknown for people to have abilities. There are superheroes in the universe already, but everyone else is just kind of normal. And there's bad guys, of course. The art style is exactly the same as what you're seeing on the front cover. And gets the name Upstart because he's a young upstart. And he remarkably looks like the actual artist. I mean, the actual writer. When he's not wearing his uniform, the drawn out superhero looks a whole bunch like Riley. So if you want to know what Riley looks like, tall, skinny guy, just like the guy. So if you want to really support someone's dreams, it's a good start. And the art is really terrific too. So I don't know how I already found this awesome person Lilith, but they were a good match for what his vision was. So find Upstart or tell your comic book store locally where to find it, or just go to Dreamscape and buy one. All right, Cul-de-sac. Man, this made me all kinds of uncomfortable. It is really difficult to move a young family, right? Drama, leaving your school, starting a new school, go into a whole new city. You don't know where anything is. Your neighbors are a complete unknown to you. Sometimes you move into neighborhoods that have very specific rules. Sometimes they're unspoken rules and just the neighbors expect certain things from you. Well, this is one of those extreme circumstances in which there is definitely a set of rules for their neighborhood. They get reminded of them over and over again. I'll just to give you an example of how extreme it is. They're moving in. Their moving van is in front of the house. They are unloading things. They've been greeted by some of the neighbors who seem very nice people. But the head of the president of I don't even know what you call it, organization that rules over what the rules are for a neighborhood. What are they called? They have an actual name. Shows up and basically says, listen, your lawn is too high. HOA, yeah, thank you. Your lawn is too thick. It needs to be mowed right away. And he's like, we're currently moving into the house, man. And he's like, well, I'm sure there's a lawnmower in that moving van. You should do that now. And if you think that is the worst thing that's going to be happening, it is not true. And you know, with a name like cul-de-sac and a writer like Cullen Bunn, it's going to get sideways real fast. And it does. The very last page will make you go, oh no, heck no. Put everything back in the truck. No. Good. I mean, like there's Cullen Bunn stuff that's like, this will be a slow burn good. And then there's Cullen Bunn stuff that's like, this first issue is good from the get-go. Let's go. This is one of those. You have another name of them based on the initials, but we're family friendly. Actually, we have like an HOA for the Woodlands. They're not too crazy. It's not like your neighbors aren't like turning you in. It's not one of those kind of places. They just really don't want you to like park your RV in your front lawn, or I mean, they're reasonable about the amount of like protection they give you. The only thing I don't like is they don't let you do garage sales. I'm like, come on. Garage sales are part of being in a neighborhood. How are you supposed to get rid of your junk? All right. Next, gargoyles. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, Dynamite's already had a gargoyles run. They have had a gargoyles run. This is another gargoyles run. In this one, I feel like it kind of picks up where the last one left off. Maybe I don't remember everything about what was going on in that one. But in this one, it's kind of a bit of two stories going on. One is there is like a screw or nut or a bolt or something that's come off of a very important part of, I think it's a crane. And this is the gargoyles on that end dealing with something that's very dangerous, that's like going to hurt someone really badly. But also on the other end is them kind of like working through this whole, like, we used to worship Demona. Now this is not good. They've gone all kinds of sideways. Where's our egg? I guess the deal is, and I did not know this, is that the whole family of gargoyles needs to be there for when this egg hatches. So it'll imprint on them and be like a big family unit. I'm not sure about that, but they're worried that since they don't know where it is, it's been taken, that it will hatch in something, it will imprint on something not good. I don't even know what's supposed to come out of this egg, honestly. I think it discusses who the parents are in this. Can you tell I didn't watch gargoyles when everyone was growing up? I apologize. I know their names. I have a good handle on what personalities they have, but without a giant backstory, I can't tell you everything. I know they have a dog, which is weird because they're gargoyles. If you don't know their origin, they got stuck for 1,000 years on top of buildings in New York. And so they're real people in there, but they're also now moving statues. I'm sure there's more to it, but that's what I know. All right, I'm going to tell you 100%. You know what I say? I don't know what I just read. Maybe you're smarter than me. This is a truly, Marguerite writes some really steamy stuff, and that is true. This is good steamy, but because of the way it's written, it assumes the reader knows some stuff, that it is obviously feeding us a little bit as we go along. but I need more time to try to figure out how it all connects. This is the things I can kind of figure out from what's going on in the book. Someone gets beheaded at the very beginning of the book. And it kind of makes reference to that maybe there are two, I guess they got to be sisters that look just alike, that switch places so that one of them becomes beheaded and the other one's dead because the other one has got something going on that needs to be important. It's going to corrupt your fragile little mind. Yes, it is. There are many depictions of ooh la la, which you should expect from Marguerite, of course. Is the nudities in this book. But also there appears to be some kind of, I don't know what this guy is, honestly. He appears in the book in the beginning as being someone that is like a sword swallower, or he'll swallow objects and then can spit them back out for you. But then later he eats a whole snake, puts a whole snake down his, he can unhinge his jaw. I don't know what he is. I don't think he's a vampire, but he's also not one. This is the thing that we're going to have to figure out. There is a lot of intrigue, and it takes place at a time that feels very Victorian. So maybe that's why it feels to me like a little bit, vampire. Anne Rice feels like she could have written the backstory for this thing. There's a tale of a dude named Cartman that tried that. No, it didn't work. Cartman, he just dies. So anyway, the name will make sense to you because of the gastronomical part of it, the swallowing things and then them coming back out. But yeah, this guy could be the devil. You guys got to decide. I don't know what she is, but who knows? It's a tricky one. X-Men, I wanted to read this one because it said that it was a DNX prelude, and I still don't have a really good handle on what DNX is going to be, except for it's like a genetic component. And this, I feel like, tries to explain it by way of, there is a storyline that's been running through the X-Men that if you were paying attention, would be very helpful. I think it started way back at the attack on Grey Malkin when they were trying to get Prof X out. But do you remember the whole storyline where I think it was Cyclops and Cable that jumped back in time or forward time to try to go and find out some way to prevent Revelation, the stuff that Revelation was doing. So this ties in very much with that. It does talk about that time, and specifically about what they found when they went there. Remember, they found that there were other versions of themselves or future versions of themselves. And very specifically, the main character in this, it's not a surprise. I'm not giving you guys any kind of spoiler here. The Beast version that's there, they actually give a new name in this book instead of just calling him, Future Beast or whatever. So that they don't get them confused amongst the two selves, they actually talk about that. And there appears to be the creation of a whole new version, because the deal is this. The X-Men have moved to, I think, Alaska. And they're being kind of the leader is Scott. And what they find out when they get there is there's an organization called, I'm going to call it 3X because I can't remember what else is called. It's 3 something. But their whole purpose is to try to push forward something that will force the mutation of humans also. So they all become mutants, which that is not a new kind of storyline, but this is for a different purpose. And what they create at the very end of this book is, I think, what gets it all kind of ramped up and started for the DNX storyline. You just want to get to the next reset? That one will catch more people, maybe. But everyone, you can complain about these storylines because this one is inextricably connected to all the stuff that's gone on before. So for me, for as, like I don't read everything in the X-Men universe, but you guys get reviews for all the ones I do read. So you can see how it helps a little bit to have kind of like known where the big beats in the storyline are. So you can see that it's not just an accidental storyline, that it's been being built upon for a year or more. And so it's not just like, well, what do we do now? Let's just throw some crap at the wall and maybe that'll work. I think that they are really headed towards something, which I'm happy about. I know you guys want to get to midnight, and I do too. I'm with you. Also a reminder, don't forget to put midnight on your pull boxes. I actually have people in my store already adding everything related. They're just saying, forget it, just put midnight all. All right, this is Queen of Black, Thor. So this is kind of like ties directly into the other books that they've been presenting. This is kind of like the POV from specific characters. This one probably shouldn't be called Thor. I will just tell you, it would be more accurate to call this one Beta Ray Bill. And I swore I was going to remember that guy's name. It is the opposite of the Queen in Black character that is an old god. Dadgummit. I can actually find it in my book. That's what I can do. I have a book in front of me. He's the one I tried to... Say it again?
You talking about Noel?
Mm-mm.
No, there's
no. Old guy from Asgard, which is kind of like the whole discussion they're having as they're fighting. This guy, what's this guy's name? Can't show it to you, which sucks. Where are we? Passages. They always give us so many times the words and the names on here, except for when I'm looking for it. Bill. Nope, I don't need Bill. I need the other guy who's on every stinking page without his name. This tells me something. Hey, when you're writing a book, you should just, every single time they talk, Tyr Odinson. So Tyr Odinson. He's the guy that has dark hair and he's got like braids that end in like gold hoops. He was in every book so far, so. This is really them, those two, Beta Ray Bill and Tyr, having just like a long discussion as they're doing a big battle about what's going on. And it's cool because you see this like awesome looking girl show up. It has almost like a sombrero, and you're like, who is this person? Well, it's another person in disguise, which is very, very cool. And the other main character is the Thor that you're seeing in Worthy Thor. Is that right? Is that what's going on right now? Yeah, Worthy Thor, who is the guy that carries around just the hammer and looks fairly normal. So all of that is through story here. So do you need it? No. Can you get everything you need out of it from what I just told you? Probably. But the art is really cool, and the transformation of this person who's not what they seem to be is pretty dope. So there you go. Hope I saved you some money and or made you spend some more money, whichever one. Follow Kylo Ren. This takes place right after the last series, which I think was The Rise of Kylo Ren. Unless there's something in between. This happens as he is returning from being gone from the fleet, in which he has left two guys in charge, and there is a third guy giving them all kinds of trouble. They are very much not happy about this third guy. Seems to be rebelling against everything they're telling him to do. And so this is, weirdly, Kylo being very wise and turning everything on its head. He knows how to maneuver his people without violence, although definitely he does. He's capable of violence, right? That gives you an insight into how real savvy he is about that. And he spends a lot of time out of the mask. So if you like to see him and his just normal person face, you'll get, well, scarred up, but you'll get a lot of that. This, of all of the Star Wars series that have been going on, I actually really like this series a lot more than them. So I feel like they've stretched a lot of storylines very thin, but this fills in a gap in the films that I've always wanted to know kind of what was going on. So yeah, this is good if you're a Star Wars fan and you like Kylo Ren. You got kids that like Kylo Ren. As long as you're okay with a little bit of Star Wars violence, then this book is for you. All right, good starting spot here. If you have not been picking up the Miles Morales has been around for a while, it's okay. You don't really need it. I'll get you caught up. Miles has been through the ringer recently. During the Blood Hunt series, he actually was bit and became a vampire, so he's undead. But it looks like something has happened recently that I missed because he's looking back on that in this book and saying that he's kind of glad that that part's behind him. And so that is kind of a different thing. And this is him definitely still doing his job as, his guy. But really the beginning of the book is him being kind of like called to action. That little thing he carries around that like he'll get called from Miguel and Gwen to like, we have trouble. Let's go troubleshoot it in some other dimension. And he's kind of like, is this something that needs me? And they're like, not really. We can handle it. And he's like, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to stay here, which is very different for him, right? I think he just wants to like go to school and be his person and take care of his own, his Brooklyn that he's hanging out in right then, because who knows what dimensional Brooklyn he's in now. I don't think it's this original dimensional Brooklyn because he doesn't have that. So this is a good start of like taking it out of like the bigger universe, which he's been in for a long time, and putting him back down into like, I'm just going to fight what comes from my people. And it's really fun to see him play games with his guy in the chair. So very cool. Jeff, this is the number 2 in this cool Superstar series. The number 1 introduced a brand new character. He's that pink guy that's on top of his head, which I think is Kevin the I don't know. He's not an octopus. He's a septicus. I don't know. That's what happens when you make a very difficult name that doesn't rhyme. So this is neat because I think in the last issue they did this too, where he is gathering a real team that he is renaming and has different powers. So it's weird. It's funny. They make fun of the Storm character in this one, who's been running around and telling everyone she's the goddess. And they're like, yeah. Sure. Whatever you say, ma'am. And the art design for the characters is really cool in these. Excuse me. And they have more than one Wolverine type. They introduced this one last time. He's kind of a little chibi Wolverine. That's neat. Septopus. Thank you. Septopus. Man, I'm not going to ever get that. Ken is good. Ken, I could do. Why didn't they name him Steve the Septopus or Sally the Septopus or Stewie the Septopus or anything that rhymes with S? Don't they pay attention to Stan the Man? Got to have 2 names that have this first letter. We need some more of that. This is not helpful. But anyway, this one has a lot of words in it. It is not the normal Jeff series. Usually Jeff, when you see him, is a no-word book or a very little word book. Because there are other characters in this, they talk a lot. So he doesn't talk. That's on Paul. But just know that there is talking from the other characters. They talk amongst themselves and to him. So good word practice, I guess. Jeff has no alliteration. It's working out for him. Hey, are we going to fight about Jeff Landshark not having alliteration? He just has a ridiculous name. That's what helps him. It's like Squirrel Girl's got rhyming. I can handle rhyming. All right. You guys know that I love me a Doug Wegner outfit. He just finished his series Narco. where he's about to finish Narco. I think we're in the last issue of that. This is his new joint. This is Yumi, but it has other words to it. So it's Yumi XX something. Hold on. Yumi OO-EX. Not an easy to remember name. I'm just gonna put that out there. It says XOX. I wonder if it says the official name is Yumi OOX. OOX. And that, now that you say it out loud like that, if you took out the hyphenation and actually didn't write it in cursive, you'd be like, oh, it's a spy thing. And it is. That's what makes it so cool. So this girl shows up, and there are, look, listen, pay attention to every single line of this book, because there are so many pop culture references, both to 007 things and to just in general lines from movies. If you catch all of the Easter eggs in this, I give you extra points and raise my hands to you, because there are a ton of them. But she shows up hell-bent at MI6 finding this dude named Richard. Richard, she met at some kind of regular, I think, coffee shop, and he just happens to be a 00. And she knows her stuff, so she shows up, and just wait till you see how well she handles herself at MI6 and does whatever she daggum wants. But she's very serious about finding her man, and no one knows where he is. Another Doug Wagner book for you to be obsessed with. Feels very different than the other universe stuff that he's built, and that's good. I mean, I don't need another just like straightforward killer from him, even though he writes straightforward killers really well. Maybe she is a straightforward killer. Maybe you get in the way of anything she wants, you're in trouble. But yeah, for fans of 007 goodies, well-drawn, cutesy stuff, because she does look like this on the front cover. What else can I tell you? Yeah, I'm excited for this universe. 2 covers of this one. Excellent. Jeffrey Jerome, Jaws the Land Shark. Kyle, sorry for the delay. I think that's good. Maybe that's his secret name. We're going to say that's his name. Oh my goodness. I can only tell you guys this so many times. This book and the other books that are part of the Unbelievable storyline will continue to feel to you a little bit like, I feel like I am more into the gritty part of this universe, which is, Geiger and Red Coat and all that stuff. But I will tell you, you're going to start to see the cracks in oh man, this is ramping up to being something, a bigger universe thing than I thought it was going to be. In the last book, The $1 Trillion Kid, #1, you got to meet this kiddo who, through, I can't remember if it was a competition or just happened. Like, he was the first kid youngest kid to reach $1 trillion. But the problem is there's another kid or 2 that he just beat, and they aren't not happy about it. Although you would think, why would they care? But they do. He has been hunting down the people that his parents were kind of tracking as being very important. He didn't know why then, and now he's starting to figure it out. He has figured out where the Rockefellers are, for example, and he knows where the Hornsby and Halo people are. But they've also started to drop in this book specifically. You start to see some characters and announcements for characters that I've never heard of them before, or if they have, they put them on those maps or maybe in the indexes, and so you're now finally getting to see a little peek at them. The main part of the storyline that's going on in this book, however, is the robot that is kind of like his protector Alfred butler guy, but he's huge. He appears to have gotten some kind of virus assumed by interacting with the Rockefellers' super future tech, which they are pissed off about. because it looks like at the beginning of this book it has kicked off the robot wars that aren't supposed to happen in timeline for a long time. So that is where the story starts, and it gets crazier from there. This is such a good series. I'm very excited about it. Sterling Steel should help with that alliteration thing. Yep. So if you are still kind of like holding out, don't let it get too far along. If you are a Ghost Machine fan, I'm hearing over and over again, kind of like from Secret Words, that you should absolutely pay attention to this series, that it will be very important and not to be missed. So here's your second or third heads up warning. Regicide. This is kind of an interesting book, I'm telling you. It has the kind of like feeling, mood, and tone of like Headlopper, or I'm trying to think what else is like this, where none of the characters seem like super buff hero guys. The beginning of this book has a guy in a mask who looks a little bit like Dr. Doom, but he never says who he is or takes off his mask, show up and tap this guy who's on the front cover. It looks like an old peasant man, and that's because he's an old peasant man who is a farmer. And the thing he does well is kill snakes in his farm. But he gets tapped to be kind of like a bodyguard for this guy in the mask who said, I'm not going to tell you what his thing is, what their purpose is. I will tell you, if you know what regicide is, you probably can guess what is going on. Anyone, by hands, raising of hands and or typing in comments, what is regicide? All the art is exactly like this. It's full of brutality and killing of things and ripping heads off and all that kinds of cool things. So if you like that kind of violence, which I know you do, you will like regicide. Just excited to see how many of you guys are Jeopardy people and know what regicide is. It's not a Kool-Aid drink. It is not the unaliving of everyone called Reggie Kyle. No, it's Kyle talking. Sorry, named Reggie. Nope. He knows the answer to this. He's messing around. All right. The opposite of what we just read. Hello, Kitty and friends. Hello, world. Unaliving your father? Nope. The Reggie is not your father. Someone more important. Hello, Kitty and friends of Monarchs. Yes, TJ. Unaliving of Monarchs. Correct. TJ gets all the points today. All right. This is so sweet. If you like the mood and tone of Pooh Bear, where it's just sweet storytelling, or if you like watching Teletubbies, or I'm trying to think what else is like this kind of like very sweet storytelling. That is what this is like. If you don't know anything about any of the Hello Kitty friends, this will tell you everything about them by their interactions, because it's so sweet. Every time that she meets one of her friends on the road and or at their houses, she says why she loves them. This character is the very best baker. This character is the very best smart person, whatever. So you get to learn all of those things. This is really about them gathering together all the things they need and each other to have a meal together, which is so, so sweet. But the cool thing is all of these are polybagged. And in the polybag, in mine at least, the center of the book has got very nice sheet of stickers. Now, mine was a specific character, all of the same characters. I don't know if the secret is the reason that they're polybagged is because they have the opportunity to be different stickers inside, or if they just put them in polybags so that kids just didn't like take stickers out of them and stick them on stuff. I am not certain. Yeah, Kitty's going to hit all the numbers. I think that people are going to buy them for their friends. I think they're going to hit with teenagers because the teenagers love Hello Kitty and everything is Sanrio. This would be a good thing to like add to your pull box for gifts for the holidays, because it's so very sweet and saccharine that you can hand it to any kiddo. Nice, simple wording, Nothing super high word count for what they're saying. So you will enjoy it because I enjoyed it. I did not mind that it was like very simple. And it's, if you're having one of those days where everything's been drama and you don't need any more drama, I think that you will like this one. There's a no drama book in which the whole drama is like, how do we get everybody together to eat? Which is the best kind of thing. And they make a surprise for one of their friends. So Gudetama is better than Hello Kitty. Kyle, why you got to be starting stuff? Why?
Because a cracked and depressed egg is way funnier than just a happy cat.
But does Gudetama have friends?
He doesn't need them. He's a cracked egg. He's sad. He's Eeyore.
By the way, I think the Eeyore issue of Pooh Bear is going to like break the world. As much as everyone likes Tigger, everyone relates to Eeyore. I think you probably have figured out by now that these books that are Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater are all amazing. And if you have gotten Monsterpiece Theater added to your pull box, what is even going on with you? What's going on with you? This is actually a variant cover there. This is I think this is the main one. Just really cool. You can tell what's going on. Did you like War of the Worlds? Specifically like the old style one, not necessarily the new movies. And this is for you. This one pulls directly kind of like in mood and tone from the very old movie, which I love, and makes its own kind of like tripod versions. It is a whole new storyline in the regard that it like is, you know how in Godzilla minus whatever it was, how it was very driven by people. Like it wasn't necessarily only about like from the point of view of the monsters, kaijus and stuff, that it had human drama. So you actually cared about humans in it. This is like that. This is like that, where there are people in it that are important to the storyline. Godzilla doesn't show up until a little bit in the actual telling of the tale. And it's all about the people trying to figure out that like, wait, Godzilla's actually doing a good thing. He's coming after the Martians. Yep, this one's the 1 in 10. Yeah, it's so pretty. Roar of the Worlds. So pretty straightforward tale. If you liked the Romeo and Juliet version of it, or I can't remember the other ones they've done so far, you will definitely like it. It also has a backup story that I did not get to read, Robin Hood versus Godzilla, which I don't know how Robin Hood's going to fare against Godzilla necessarily, but I love the character design of the actual tripods here. They're very cool, and they're definitely have all of that stuff that you with Odyssey. Oh, that was so good. Yeah, we tried to order that one again, and I think that got all bought up. In the secondary market, which is okay. It's like a warning to us to not goof off. So anyway, this one, cool. Batman and Robin continues along with the way that the rest of the Batman and Robin year one storylines have been. It is very early days for Batman and Robin. They are fighting crime together, which is very delightful. It doesn't have the drama necessarily of later on Batman versus the Robins seems to be a real big thing. Godzilla is broke though. What beef could the hood have? I don't know. It's a good question. So let's see. This one is them taking on the Alchemical Bishop. That is exactly what he's called. I wanted to look and see what his real name is. Alchemical Bishop, who is trying to sacrifice blood to Barbados, the Bat God. And they step in to prevent such things. And after that part of the storyline, which is really cool and dark, it is Robin wanting to go with Batman on his next thing that he's doing, but it very clearly says, no, I'm going on a date. And while on his date, he gets attacked by kind of a gang of young adults. And that makes it difficult for him. One, he doesn't have Robin. And two, he doesn't really have, he can't, there's only so much fighting he can do without outing himself. So it's a little bit of drama, right? Because they are coming back from the movies. They do get attacked. I'm sure he has some PTSD stuff because of it. But I love the art style. Art style feels very of the era of the early Batman stuff. It's delightful. I do like the dynamic between the Batman and Robin in this book. And this is like the third series they've done in the Batman and Robin. I think second in the year one storyline, and it's been all good. So, all right, Absolute Batman. Boy, howdy, you do need to read the previous books in some kind of way before you dive in here. This is not a first read book. Do not jump in at number 23 specifically. There's so much stuff that's going on here, including more tortured stuff with his, like his mom, and that she used to be in the Court of Owls, and what does that mean? And did she betray the dad? Is the dad still alive? He believes so. Everyone that's in his friend group, they all show up in this book to talk to him. They're like, listen, it appears that you've killed somebody. You've been blamed for killing somebody that you may or not have killed. He gets confronted by the Robins in this. So if you like to know a little bit more about the Robins, you're definitely going to learn more about the Robins in their mechs and their dynamics with each other, like who shows up to have each other's backs. I think it's well known that this is Clayface related issue. So if you're looking for that to be true, they do not name him in this book. But you can kind of see on the cover that there's crazy stuff going on. What else can I tell you? It's got so much good action going on. He does get confronted by the characters that have become bad guys, right? The Penguin is an old friend of his, and a bunch of others. They all come and talk to him and be like, what you think is going on, this grand conspiracy in which you believe that you've been manipulated kind of from birth to be part of this shadow something or other, is not true. But then it also, I'm telling you, gets you back all the way to his young days. This is after the death of Dad, but before Batman appears, right? So they get you right up to him. Why did the Batman get made? What's going on? So it's so good, but so much meat that if you go into this one as your very first one, you're gonna be like, who are these people? Why are they hanging out with him? Why aren't they trying to kill him right now? What's going on? So they're crowded up with all the baddies, both his friends' baddies and not friends' baddies. And you're not really 100% certain if he's right. And the last thing I read today, and I read it because it was the Kingdom of Zod #1. There are 2 Kingdom of Zod tie-ins this week. So if you wanted to jump in, then you'll probably need to get both of them. This is from the point of view of Supergirl, but also she has kind of like tagging along on this adventure she's doing, which is trying to figure out, they've ended up with all of this, all this kryptonite, and people trying to like monetize it, and they can't go in and do what they need to do necessarily because they're from Krypton, so it affects them. So this is the 2 super boys. One is Prime, who is the one that no one trusts because he kind of killed a bunch of people that ended up in their universe after DCKO. And I forgot the other guy's name. Colin? I can't remember the guy's name. And this is very heavy kryptonite stuff, but it is hilarious to see her basically say, dudes, it's almost like watching your brothers that can't like keep their hands off each other in the back of the car. They just cannot let it go between each other to the detriment of actually seeing what is the bad that's happening in front of them. So yes, it's definitely Zod related. You knew this. You knew it would be. And a great read. Is it essential? I don't know. But it's good reading. Okay, also pay attention this week. Your local comic shop might have some of these goodies to give away to you. They are the new Kanto book coming out called Clockwork Chronicles by David Boer, Andrew Zucker. It's always been an amazing series. So if you've been hankering for a little Clockwork Knight action, he is going to be back pretty soon. Just a reminder, make sure it's on your polls so you don't miss it. And there's a ton of graphic novels dropping this week. I'm going to show you what is coming out so you can also grab those off the rack when you get to your shop. Detective Comics, awesome Tom Taylor run stuff comes out this week. This is the storyline that's called The Courage That Kills. Also, Deathstroke. Oh, this is me getting more Rebirth. I think this is just us reording. But here's like another reminder. You might want to grab some Deathstroke stuff just in case. Batgirl. This is a storyline called The War of Shadows. Batgirl's been very popular at our store. It's always gorgeous and has a great storyline going on. Also showing up at your store might be this awesome Baldur's Gate 3 official coloring book. Fun fact, if you're an adult and you get stressed out about stuff, coloring is kind of fun. Also, Star Trek, the official coloring book. If you're like, we're in early days still for thinking about buying for the holidays, but if you think about it, it's going to be here like that. And you don't want to end up in a part where it's like there's not as many choices. Like right now, there's a bunch of choices out there, so you might as well get going. Also, JSA Year 1. This is Volume 3, Jeff Lemire. Superman, part of the DCKO part of the storyline. It's also known as Volume 6. Superman Unlimited, Dan Slott, Volume 2. Sorry, gotta turn all the way around. They've got the Mary Sue storyline from Boombox all collected for you. Ultimates Volume 4. Congratulations again, Dennis Camp, on your awesome wins. Took home some nice statues at the Eisners. New Avengers, The Other Woman. I told you there was a lot. If you missed out on getting all of Jeremy Hahn's murder podcast, here's your Volume 1. Still not 100% sure what's causing what's going on. I need to catch up. Cult of the Lamb, this is Volume 2. If you're a fan of the video game, great. You don't have to have played it to enjoy this book. Hank Howard, Pizza Detective. This is putting together all the little mini books that they've had for Hank Howard. And this is like crime noir, but also he works at the pizza place. So it's him solving crime that happens there. Seems ridiculous, but it's kind of awesome. And then Season 2 of Space Ghost by David Pepos. I think that is all that I have. But also, since we have a little bit of time here, and remember, the thing you're going to do right after you're done with this show is you've been writing down your list, you're going to connect with your local comic shop, and you're going to tell them what things that you want from what you just saw. And then also, if you need a place to buy the comic books you saw today. I will be going live again right after this. And then after that, you'll have some aggressive positivity you can join in on. Okay, I'm looking at the Hank Howard for you. It says it has. Does it say? Okay. It's got Caligula's Safe, The Counterfeiter's Gamble, The Bad Goods, Two Hollywoods Part 1 and 2, A Slice of Life Part 1 and 2, and Making Hank Howard. Everything, as it turns out. All right. My friend Torma, that's exactly what he looks like. That guy right there. Oh, I'm making it so you can't see it on the screen. There you go. That is what Torma looks like. Sent me something in this bag. Yeah. It's a giant poster. What does the giant poster have on it? It's got some stuff. It has Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Archie and Heck by Patrick Horvath, and Archie by Ben Winters. It says Riverdale's about to grow up, get weird, and redefine what an Archie comic can be. And on the other side, it advertises a new book series by Christian Ward called Forever Home. It's a 6-part limited series of one family at the far end of time itself from visionary creators Christian Ward and Sammy Cabela. We have all the time in the world. Will it be enough to save them? So anyway, very cool. Horvath and Archie. So there you go. You've got a heads up. Thanks, Oni Press and Torma, for giving us the inside information. I'm super thankful. Heard Heck is hot. Probably. It's going to be a good week, y'all. Hope everyone is not going crazy getting ready for school or getting your kids ready for school. It's a little bit stressful. Don't forget to take first day pictures. It's always easy to forget such things. I will see you guys back here in about 6 minutes, unless you recently froze over. Oh, you guys. I appreciate you guys coming every week. Hope you enjoyed the reviews. If there's ever anything specific that you want me to review that you think is kind of like off the beaten path, just let me know. And I'm happy to take care of that for you. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye, y'all.